Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ANZCAR Abruzzi Cup here at the Thunder Valley, the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. We are here for qualifying. A few cars out on track at the moment, just setting their fast times. Danny G up at the top at the moment. A few cars yet to go. Bit of a tricky one here tonight. Bristol can catch a few people out. I'm joined up here with Mr. JP. How are you going, JP?
Fantastic, thanks Carl. Another great night of racing. I'm sure we're going to be having that tonight.
Absolutely. Always an interesting track, Bristol. It's a very tricky track as well. Very low grip. Drivers were complaining a little bit about that today. Just saying that it was a little bit loose out there as well. And also joining us tonight, we have Jono Hancock. How you going, Jono?
Good, Carl. How are you?
I am good, and it's good to hear your voice back up here in the booth. Welcome back. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's good to be back. Good to see the guys are at Bristol this week. An interesting track, as you were saying.
That's it. It's one of those tracks that can really catch some drivers out. It is not easy to go around. And you've got to be very careful not to overdo it on your tyres here, because tyres are king as well as track position. Just looking out on the track, we've got Raymond Jaeger out there, driving for Ever One Motorsport now in his new livery. Strange to see him in new colours. It's going to throw me off tonight. There's a few new drivers in new colours tonight.
I haven't seen any of the drivers in a long time, so I'm sure there'll be some interesting paints that'll throw me off for a while here.
I'm guaranteed we'll get some things wrong. So just as Raymond Jaeger just sets his time, that gets him up to 14th there. We'll just run through the chase at the moment. So leading at the moment is Jason Martin. He's up there in front with Michael Skurlock behind him. Josh Micklemore in third with Edward Foster fourth. Fifth is Hamish Gallagher with Danny G in sixth. Seventh is Jason Hartigan with eighth place Stephen Williams. Ninth is Norman Clark with 10th place Bradley Allison, and 11th Matt Hunter. Yes, we have 11 people in the hunt this year for the chase, because we had a joint 10th place finish between Allison and Hunter. So it looks like everybody pretty much.
Looks like Michael Skurlock might have had a moment there, Carl.
Big off there, yeah, big moment for Skurlock. He's just hit that outside wall going on to the back straight, back straight. Yeah, he's just lost grip mid-corner there, and that shoved him straight up into the wall, and that's going to really cost him for this qualifying session. He's going to have to pretty much just abandon that one, so that might see Skurlock starting at the back of the field tonight, which could be a bit of a disaster for him. Can be a bit of an awkward place to start here at Bristol.
I'll sit it.
Makes it a lot harder to get through the pack starting at the back. And talking about your chase drivers there before, Carl, someone who's done very well is Bradley Ellison. It's his rookie year and he made it into the chase first year out.
That's it. It's been a mega year for Bradley Allison. Also Matt Hunter as well. His rookie season in the Cup cars, of course, because last year he was doing our cameras. So nice to see him up there as well. But both those drivers have done so well. But Allison has had a fantastic start to his Cup career, and it's great to see those guys getting up there as well. It's sort of, there are a few big names that didn't quite make it. But it shows that really consistency and just sticking to it can get you in there at the end, and they really did that well, as well as some really good finishing positions. Bradley Allison had 11 top 10 finishes and 2 top 5 finishes this year, so really good results for him over that season. So a really consistent year for him. Has managed to just slot him into those positions.
Yeah, as we get all gridded up here, we'll be underway short.
Yes, as everybody sets their grid spaces, gets in the right position, and gets ready to go. So we'll just be going through the starting order now. So up on the front row of the grid, we've got Jason Martin and Danny G. Second row is Joshua Carroll-Walden and Josh Micklemore. Third is Foster and Gallagher. Fifth, Williams and Allison. Sixth is Hartigan and Hunter. Seventh is Wilson and Brosell. Seventh is Schroeder and Jaeger. Eighth is Bevan Moyes with Norman Clark. Nine, we've got Lachlan Yurko and James Robbie. 10th place, we've got Neil Pearson, Aidan Schultz. 11th, Phil Otto, Michael Skurlock, Tristan Koch, David Swan. And then on the back of the grid is Riley Curtis in 24th place. So 24 cars out there ready to go hunting for this race tonight. It's going to be a big one.
It will be, and the cars looking very nice under the lights here tonight at Bristol.
Yeah, some absolutely stunning paint jobs out there. Some really nice new ones, actually, as I say. Nice to see some new paint jobs. Jason Hartigan now running the his new paint scheme. Very, very pretty car. Very well done. I'm sure JP will approve of that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did a really good job on that one. Very, very pretty car, and it's going to confuse me with Norman Clark's car as well. So expect a few missed calls tonight, as is the norm for me, of course. But they're going to come round for the pacing lap. Of course, here there are the twin pit roads as well, which does tend to make it a longer pit stop than you sort of think for a short oval. So pitting can be costly, especially if it's done under a green.
It'll be interesting to see if anyone makes any mistakes too, getting their pit lane as such mixed up.
That's it. It can be very confusing as well. It can throw a lot of drivers off, and it's not an easy thing to do. It sounds like the most simple thing in the world, taking a pit stop, but it's not easy. You got to slow down the car for one, and you got to make sure you go in the right entrance for the second part. Having those double lanes do throw it out a little bit, but the pace car should be coming in now. And Jason Martin's going to lead us off for the Bristol 200. Green flag, and away they go. Jason Martin gets a great launch from the start there. Really good start for Jason Martin, pulling away from his teammate Danny G. We've got Joshua Carroll-Walden coming underneath him. Joshua Carroll-Walden coming alive at this end part of the season, getting some great speed so far. Running that lower line at the moment. Looks like everybody else is choosing that higher line.
Yeah, looks strong there.
Oh, and Jason Martin into the wall. Sorry, Jason Martin into the wall there on lap number 2, just on the back straight, running up high, just drifting the car up. Just looks like he lost a bit of front end there. A little bit of damage to that car now. How much is that going to affect him? As we see Danny G as well, just making a quick scrape to that barrier too.
I'm going to let you guys commentate, just checking to make sure everything's working.
So.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of blinking out of our second place driver, but on the restart there we saw the bottom line real good at the start, but after about a lap and a half it kind of washes away by the looks of it, and that top line is the quickest line there at the moment.
It is, as Joshua Carroll-Walden makes that move on Jason Martin, getting underneath him, perfectly executed there. Danny G just moving down to the bottom line. He just called over the radio just to get the drivers to let him through there, because he was having a bit of a blinking issue. But everybody's away clean at the moment, and that's what we want to see at this stage of the race. Looks like everybody's doing well. Hopefully we don't do a commentator's curse, but at the moment Joshua Carroll-Walden is just flying away up front.
Yeah, and his teammate Edward Foster is doing well to sit on the back of Mickelmore as he's going to try to go around the outside here in 1 and 2.
He is, but he's going to get a rather slow Jason Martin now just in front of him, and that might just lose him in position here.
We've got volume issues.
And apparently got a little bit of volume issue, but we'll hopefully get them fixed very shortly for you guys. So we'll carry on with this one. But yeah, we've got Foster now on the back of Martin, and he's doing quite well sitting there. And I'll let JP know his mic's on over stream, just in case you didn't know that. But Foster getting through, and that's going to be good for the teammates there. Joshua Carroll-Walden's now got a teammate in his rear gun position of Edward Foster. Joshua Carroll-Walden just checking out at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like Jason Martin might be falling back a bit, maybe just some type of strategy to save tyres as we see a car around on the front stretch.
Big moment there. Aidan Schultz there, just going around at the front. He basically just spun. Oh, he actually gone into Joshua Carroll-Walden. Oh, big moment there for JCW. as well. JCW getting relatively unscathed through that. JCW just having to go underneath him, and Aiden Schultz just saying he had a lot of push there. He couldn't get the car turned in time. Luckily, it doesn't look like it's damaged JCW's car too much, but it's given Foster a chance to start catching up now. And as you said, Jason Martin is just falling back at the moment. I think that frontal damage might be more than we first suspected.
Yeah, there might be a problem with the car, because I don't think he will fall this far back just to save tyres.
Yeah, he might be just trying to save, but position is everything here tonight, and I don't think Martin's going to want to jog back too far into that pack, because it does get a bit dangerous back there, and obviously once the tyres start falling off, which they pretty much start dropping off after about 5 to 10 laps here, it can be quite tricky on these tracks. But once they start dropping off, you can have incidents like we just saw there with Hamish Gallagher, just getting up against the wall, giving it a little bit of a rub tonight as well. We're going to see quite a few sparks and quite a few bits of wall rubbing as well this evening, because, as you say, that high line is the key for speed around here. But you do leave yourself in trouble if you just make a little bit of a mistake. It's so easy to go up into that wall and have a little bit of a scrape.
Yeah, it's not the easiest track to drive, Bristol. It is one of the best tracks to watch in my opinion, but not the easiest to drive.
No, as we see the 53 of Foster going down the inside of Joshua Carroll-Walden in the 35 there. Foster taking that position with authority there. Really nice move there for the lead. And maybe that damage from Aiden Schultz has hampered JCW a little bit, because he seems to have lost a bit of time from his earlier speed, or maybe he just did his tyres in a little bit too quickly.
Yeah, the Simshed boys having a strong drive up the front here at the moment, as we see them catching lap traffic.
Yeah, that's the other issue you've got here, because it's such a short track, Bristol. It's so quick you start to catch those lapped cars, and it's a tricky thing to be lapped here as well, because where do you sit? Do you sit on the high line? Do you go low for the drivers and then risk the car running up high into them? You sort of have to decide where you're going to sit, and it looks like Tristan Koch is just doing a nice job there, sitting in one position, as you see behind him with Josh Micklemore there, just getting a bit of a lock-up and getting a little bit sideways action with himself and Hamish Gallagher there. All action all across the field at the moment.
Yeah, and Ed did a really good job to get by lap traffic, as we see him have a little bit of issue here with another car, but he did really well to get by that lap traffic early on to hit the wall.
Schultz has just clipped Foster again. Schultz, very, very almost getting a big wreck there. We might get a yellow. Schultz getting the leader over the radio saying he was going low, and he just decided to sort of go across the field there a bit, and that could have caused a big wreck there, and it did cause a bit of damage to that leader.
Yeah, I was just saying how good Ed did getting past that first car, because he had a bit of a gap there, but now we see JCW and Mick running side by side for second at the moment.
Yep, and just a clip there on Joshua Carroll-Walden on the front of Josh Micklemore there. He just came up a little bit high there and just caught JCW just on the exit of that one. A little bit of a mistake there from Josh Micklemore, and not often we see that from him. It's one of those little things that can happen here. Probably just got a little bit loose, just coming underneath him there, a little bit of aero wash, things like that. But it's still green out there, which is kind of miraculous.
Yeah, it's a very quick laps out here, so we're chewing through the laps very quick, but I think tonight's going to be very much about keeping the car clean and keeping it in one piece as much as you can. Bristol always causes some amount of damage to the car.
Yeah, any amount of damage is not good to a car. It does affect it in strange little ways. But if you can get through relatively unscathed, if you can keep the car clean, then you're going to go well. Joshua Carroll-Walden struggling now down there in 7th 8th place now. He's dropped down a few positions, down to 8th place, letting Hardigan get past. And also Stephen Williams there battling away. Some real big battles mid-pack at the moment. It's a bit hard to know where to look exactly because there's just action all over the place. Foster's still got a bit of a gap though. He's about a second ahead at the moment. But that mid-pack at the moment is just so furious. There's passing going on everywhere.
Yeah, we'll see how long it stays green for here, but they're being very well behaved at the moment whilst still racing very hard. As we see Matt Hunter and that group battling very hard at the moment.
Yeah, some big battling going on, and just noticed Tristan Koch coming into the pit road. He had an incident a bit further down the field with the 48 of Matt Hunter, a big moment with Matt Hunter. And again, it stayed green. So miraculous green flags tonight. Also, a big thank you to Jake Santon for letting us know about the sound issues. Thank you so much for letting us know, and we thank everybody joining us here tonight, watching us. It's always appreciated to have an audience. I hope you're enjoying this race because it is one heck of a frantic one so far.
Is as we see in the inside line, maybe getting a bit of a better drive as we see the Neil Person 9 car and the 350 car on that inside line, getting some passes done there on Bradley Ellison. So either Ellison's running slightly slow at the moment, or the inside line might be starting to rubber in a bit.
Yeah, the drivers have had to take to that inside line quite a lot tonight, especially for getting past those lapped cars, and it looks like it's starting to rubber in a bit. Just going to jump our attention up a little bit further up the field to P5, which is now turning into P6 for Danny G. Jason Hartigan going down the inside here, and Stephen Williams wanting to take a look as well, as Danny G looks to be struggling out there. His car's looking very beaten up at the moment. Quite a bit of damage on the front of that car from earlier blinking and a few taps to the wall. That's given Hartigan a good run. Stephen Williams, I think, is going to be the next one to go down on him. Okay, and we do apologise for a quick interruption, a quick technical interruption, just to get the sound working correctly. Although we should hopefully have things working relatively quickly. Yeah, just a couple of technical issues tonight, so we hopefully won't be too long for that one.